Hi everyone, good evening. It is Thursday, it is 9 p.m. and welcome to Thrive Live. I am Marcus Ranney. I'm the General Manager of Thrive Global in India, and it's amazing to see all of you again for episode 3 of Thrive Lives on Instagram. This evening we have an incredibly special guest. Been waiting for so many weeks to have her with us, and it's going to be an absolutely fantastic conversation. We're going to be talking about parenting, we're going to be talking about cooking, we're going to be talking about staying active, about how to keep our mind together, all whilst this new new way of living is. So I'm going to welcome her in. The absolutely amazing Maria Goretti. She should be joining us any second now.
Hi, hi, Marcus. So nice seeing you.
You too. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm really good.
Good.
How are you
Good.
doing?
Yes, well as one can be given the constraints of everything that's happening around us. Yeah.
No, that's nice. That's nice. Nice to see you.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
been
So
some time.
I'm absolutely amazed, Maria. I was doing a little bit of Googling. So
Okay.
just to give everyone the backstory, I first met Maria a few months ago in Jaipur at the
Yes.
WPP Stream Conference. And Maria was hosting a workshop
Yeah.
on how to bake bread, particularly pizza bread, right?
Yes. I was doing
That's
pizza
right.
bread. Yes.
And so in the cold Jaipur winter, you have about 20, 30 of us huddled over this makeshift, I don't know what, oven
You
kitchen.
remember we didn't get the hall because that session was still going on. So I was like,
There
what
was
the hell?
that
Let's just do this
hypnotherapist in
outside.
there who
Yeah.
was putting everyone under his spell. That's right. I remember that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So I finally had a chance to Google you, and I was just mind blown. So I'm just going to share with the
Listen, most of
audience.
it is lies, huh?
I know if it's out there on the internet, it's got to be true. That's what I think. So Maria is a dancer, correct?
Yes, yes.
She is
I used to do tap dancing and I used to be a jazz dancer. Yes.
amazing. So that's true. She's a certified deep sea diver. Is that correct?
Yes. I'm
All
an
right.
advanced deep sea diver.
Amazing. All right. She is a half marathoner.
Yes.
Mumbai Marathon
Mumbai
2016.
Marathon 20. I didn't do 20. I did about three, I think. And then this year I had a really bad injury last year when I
Okay.
started. So I am on a bit of a sabbatical, but I really hope to get back to it
Yeah.
because I miss it.
Fantastic. Yeah, no, I'm a fellow runner, and we can talk about that. And yeah, I miss it very dearly, especially now being trapped up in the home.
Yeah.
So 3 out of 3, that's not bad. She's a mountain climber who scaled Mount Kilimanjaro.
Yes.
Wow,
Yes,
okay.
I did.
4 out of 4. Amazing. Uh, this one I believe. You're a cordon bleu trained chef in both Paris and London. I'm assuming that's correct.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
that is. I
5 out
also
of
went
5.
to Tante Marie in 2011 and I did culinary, boulangerie, and bakery there, which is
Amazing.
it's a culinary school in Woking.
Okay.
So yeah, I went there in 2011. So that was my first brush with a culinary school. But
Amazing.
before that, I did 1 year of baking at Sapphire's Polytechnique in Bombay.
Yay! And you've trained with probably, I mean, at least my favorite chef ever, but I'm sure a lot of our viewers as well, Mr. Gordon Ramsay, the Brit, as Brit
No,
as well.
no, 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 no. So
Ah,
that is false.
pause.
So Tante Marie is a Gordon Ramsay holding,
Okay.
but he never came to the college. He never
Okay.
came. In fact, I wrote to him during the graduation saying, so are we going to see you? And he said, oh, looks a bit tight. And he replied, and I was like, oh my God, Gordon Ramsay replied back to me. I was so kicked. I can't tell you.
Well, he's
It
a
was
regular
really,
fan of the show, so I'm sure he's watching us now.
I
And
hope
so,
so.
Gordon, if you're watching,
Gordon,
Maria,
if you're watching, we need to meet.
yeah, and you come to Bombay, Gordon. We'll do a bake-off
Yeah, we'll
there.
feed you. We'll give you a great time.
Absolutely amazing. So that's good. So Sonam and Tarika, who are watching, I'm sure, that's 5 points to Maria and 1 point to you for getting that one wrong. A television show host, that's correct.
Yes. Yes.
6-1. Award-winning cookbook author of From My Kitchen to Yours.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, all right.
Yes.
MTV VJ. This I
Yes.
think is correct. Yeah. And my favorite of all, a hands-on mother to two teenagers,
Oh my
Zenny and
God.
Ziki.
Zene and Zeke.
Zene and
So
Zeke.
she's Zene Zoe and Zeke
Zene Zoe.
Zidane.
That's a
Yeah.
lot of Z's in that.
So, and
What's
my puppy is called Ziggy, and I have another puppy called Zuni.
okay? Did some page of the name book just get stuck? I mean, what's the logic there for all the
I
Z's?
don't know. I don't know why, but I totally love Z's. I don't know why. I
All
found, I
right.
mean, when I got pregnant, I came across the name Zeke, and I just loved it. I was like, oh my God. And what it meant was shooting star. And
Okay.
I am somebody who had not really seen any shooting stars
Right.
ever till then.
That's a lovely
I mean,
story.
till quite some time actually. And
Yeah.
so I was like, that's it. I'm going to call him Zeke if it means shooting star.
That's amazing.
And I love the name. And my friends were like, no, what kind of a name is that? It's a sound. I was like, no, that's the name. So you get used to the sound. That's the
Yeah.
name.
Super. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that story. So that wasn't bad. We got what 9 out of 10 right. So that's not too bad from the research team. So all that is all that's awesome. And there's more in here. You know, I read things about setting menus, about training kitchen
Yeah.
staff, about doing demos and
Yeah.
poetry and
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff for you. That's not bad. So you are probably the most eclectic person I've ever introduced, and you definitely
What?
qualify to become a Thrive Global Ambassador. So I'm
Oh
really
my
really chuffed to
God.
have you.
That,
That's
that,
amazing.
I'm really, I mean, you've just made me feel really, really fantastic about myself. Thank you so
Fantastic.
much.
Good, good, good. All right, let's get into the nuts and bolts. For everyone who's just joining, you don't need a guess. We have, of course, the amazing Marion Goretti with us. We're on Thrive Live Instagram. Send us all your questions. I will try and ask as many as I can. I can see all kinds of people already saying big hellos, asking
Oh,
you how your
hi.
kids
Hi,
are.
Sharon. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, she said, oh, so
Lots.
sweet. Yeah, you guys are so sweet. Thank
That's
you. Thank you
amazing.
so much.
Amazing. So, okay, not so long ago, you posted a story about living in a madhouse run by a tiny army that I made myself. I love that headline. That's incredible. That's how I feel right now. Tell us what's it like to be locked down in a madhouse.
So actually, this lockdown is something that I am absolutely okay with. Okay, because for the first time in my life, Marcus, I don't have a schedule. Okay, so from I started working when I was 17. Okay, and then after I stopped working when I wanted to have kids, and then I was always on call. I mean, in fact, it was more rigorous a call when you have kids,
Right.
and yeah, and I have always been doing something or the other, or having to meet deadlines, or that kind of things. And
Yeah.
suddenly, down during lockdown, there is no schedule.
Right.
It is so nice. I actually wake up without an alarm.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I just wake up, and if I wake up really early, then I just decide what I want to bake, and I bake something for the day, or I decide to cook and I just cook for the day. And I don't have to drop the kids anywhere, pick them up from anywhere. I don't have to make, tiffins for a certain time because they need to reach a certain place at a certain time.
Yeah.
So and because I'm not somebody who goes to an office or to a place of work every day, this is like my everyday life, but easier for me because I am at nobody's beck and call,
Right.
and that feels really nice.
Yeah.
And yes, so I've been cooking every day
Yeah.
after really long.
Yeah.
My mom is impressed. She's like, oh my God. My mom is like somebody who always, or somebody who's like, how can you not learn to cook? And I was like, are you crazy? There's no way I'm going to be sitting in a kitchen and cooking. I mean, I've studied so much. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I was those kind of people.
What
And
was your
I'm really,
inspiration for getting into cooking? How did you get into that?
so I got into cooking actually at a time when Zeke turned about 2.5, and
Right.
I had to feed him real
Right.
food. And
Okay.
I really didn't know, I mean, except for making one baked chicken that I did because my mom did it all her life,
Yeah.
and probably a bread pudding, or I'm still terrible at boiling rice. It frightens the crap out of me. Okay, really, I'm not joking. I'll bake the most amazing breads in the world. You ask me to give you perfectly boiled rice, and I think I'll break out in sweat. So yeah, so that's the truth.
Yeah.
And yeah, but I started because I had to feed him, and I would call my mom and say, okay, so how do you make khichdi, and how do you make French toast, and how do you make this, and how do you make that? And so I started like that.
Yeah.
And then it just took off. It had a life of its own. It just made me feel, it's like, I think it just found me at a time that I needed it the most. It was, I think it came to me at a time that I was ready to go in and see what probably made me happy, or I don't know what it was, but
As
it's
a
just
child, were you
something.
always sort of attracted to the kitchen? Was your mom like sort of
Never.
personality? No.
I did not ever step into the kitchen, but I loved eating. I'm a huge foodie.
Right.
So I love eating,
Yeah.
but no, I never got into the kitchen for anything. I would get in for Christmas. We'd all help for Christmas or during
Yeah.
a festival or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But on an everyday basis, are you crazy, Marcus? I would die and cry and run away.
Right. Yeah. So now you've got, your two little kids have obviously grown up. You've got two
Yeah,
teenagers in the
two
home.
teenagers. One is
I've
going to
got,
turn 13 in May, and
okay.
she's just worried that she's turning 13 and there's going to be no party because we are under this lockdown. And I'm like,
Yeah,
there are
yeah,
bigger issues in life. She said, but I'm going to get 13 once, Mama. I'm going to turn 13 once.
yeah,
So yeah, but she's at home, and my son is now 15.
yeah.
He's going to turn 16 in August. So yeah, it's quite a house.
I can imagine. It's hard for kids. I've got my son Aiden will be 4 next week.
Oh,
So we are also feeling sort of guilty as to how can we make it as special as it can be for
yeah.
him. And my girl is very small. Eva is only 1.5. But
Oh,
the amount of
but she
food
can't
that
go
we cook.
out.
Well,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
the amount of
we're
food, I
allowed
can
down a little
imagine.
bit. Yeah, it is tough. But the question I had was, we are finding it hard that it just seems like we're just cooking and eating all the time. And if I were to multiply that up by 3 and imagine have two teenagers, how are you
Yeah.
able to manage a pantry? I mean, how does that work?
So,
That machinery work?
so I'll tell you how it works. So, luckily for us, every Sunday and Wednesday, there is a very big vegetable market that opens pretty close to our home.
Okay.
And everyone goes there and stands
Yeah.
in line with their masks and with their gloves and brings their own bags and keeps a good distance from one another. And so I buy a lot of vegetables and I keep it home. I've
Yeah.
stopped buying junk. There
Okay.
are no
Amazing. Yeah.
biscuits.
Yeah.
Okay, there's Maggie. I buy very sparingly. Okay, so I try and keep that to minimal.
Yeah.
And there are lots of fruits. There are lots of homemade everything. So what I do is I bake a lot of stuff and I keep it. And supposing I've marinated, say, a chicken that I bake and I keep, so I kind of shred it and keep it.
Right.
And so when Zeke, he now wants to have a snack at 12 o'clock in the night. So he kind of goes to the fridge and rummages through and finds only lots of vegetables and one one chicken something lying somewhere.
Yeah.
So then he'll fry himself an egg because
Oh,
he does
okay.
cook.
Right. Nice.
So he fries himself an egg. He makes himself a dessert egg with chocolate and blah blah blah. I don't know what the hell he's doing, but then he also makes himself these sandwiches. And
Chocolate and egg.
chocolate egg. Yes, I'm not joking. He makes this awesome chocolate egg. They're
Okay.
also all these kids are also completely hooked on to Dalgona coffee. So he
Okay.
made that for me the other day.
Right.
Okay, really yummy.
Right.
So I think they kind of rummage for stuff and then they find just the right things.
Right.
So I mean, very grudgingly they pick it up.
Yeah.
And as for meals, I try and see that my meals have enough of fiber, enough of carb, and enough of protein. So mostly in proteins, there is a dal, every day at all
Yeah.
meals.
Yeah.
Well, if there's a meat, then there's no dal. But otherwise, there is a dal on the table. There is definitely vegetable on the table. There's definitely rice, roti, ghee. So yeah, It's some of the, so in a day I cook one big elaborate mad meal, and
Right,
then one is a simple meal, which is, your our staple, our Indian staple, which is a bhaji, a roti,
right, right.
rice,
Yeah,
pickle, that
yeah.
kind of thing. Now I'm not even getting what do you call it, papad in the market. So
True. Right.
yeah, so that's what's happening at the moment.
Yeah. We got a question from Asta asking whether Arshad cooks. Is he helping you out in the kitchen as well?
Um, Not at the moment, but in life, yeah, he does cook.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
And then what else do we have? Any more questions? Yeah, lots coming in.
lots of hearts. Thank you for
Lots
all
of
the
hearts.
hearts.
Yeah. And what's your, I imagine now that you're spending so much time in the kitchen, you probably having an opportunity to cook things that you may not have done after a very long
Yeah,
time.
yes,
What's
absolutely.
been the most favorite thing that you've done recently?
So the most favorite thing I learned recently is ishtu and appam. Okay, so a few weeks ago, or
Yeah.
I think a week and a half ago, while I was putting up one of my stories, I wrote saying, can somebody please send me a recipe for appam and ishtu? And I cannot tell you how many people wrote to me with various recipes. So then I read them all, and I kind of put together a recipe that made sense to me, because I always do that. Whenever I'm
Yeah.
making a recipe, I kind of read a whole lot of them and then put something together and make it your own.
Yeah.
And if I have to say so myself, I loved my own ishtu and appam. I loved it. I was
Wow.
like, I was like, oh my God, that is so good. I want to do it again. So probably on this Saturday, we're going to do ishtu and appams again. So that's something that I totally enjoyed making.
Amazing. Amazing. And keeping kids engaged, we are all trying to figure out more innovative ways to keep them more and more engaged. For folks with younger kids, and maybe I'm asking for personal advice here,
Yeah.
say we got kids 4, 6, 7, 8, etc. What is like a nice, easy thing that we can do with them in the kitchen, just to get them introduced to the idea of cooking?
Okay, so if it is a tiny kid, then I
Yeah,
think what you could do is you make roti in your house every day.
right.
Okay, so
Yeah,
after kneading your dough, you could give them a little mound to just kind of, be part of. So you make your own little roti. When Zeke was small, I used to engage him a lot in making French toast. And
okay,
I used to make him whisk eggs,
nice.
because if he whisked the eggs, then he would eat that egg.
Right, right,
So
right,
I used to make him do a lot of French toast. I would do a lot of egg omelets or
right.
egg and cheese. These kind of things that are nutritious
Yeah,
and also good for them. Then
yeah,
I would take watermelons and scoop little balls out of them
yeah,
with those round scoopers.
yeah, yeah.
And then I would make, like, if you have cookie cutters at home, then you cut your watermelon with the cookie cutters.
Okay.
So all this is really interesting and fun
Yeah, yeah,
for little
yeah.
kids to do, and then they're most happy about the shapes. Oh my God, it's a
Yeah,
heart!
yeah, yeah. Very true. That's very smart. Very smart.
Yeah,
Very good.
so
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah, that kind of stuff.
And we got lots of questions asking about your kitchen. I've seen Instagram videos, and it looks like an amazing space, I have to
I
say.
love my kitchen,
Yeah,
Marcus. I really love my kitchen. I made it with a lot of love, and it's very functional. Let me tell you that everything in my kitchen is very functional. So if there's something hanging, it's not hanging there for show.
yeah,
It's all stuff that I use.
yeah.
So I really love my kitchen. It's my space, and I enjoy myself. In fact, but I love my kitchen when it's empty and everyone's gone off to sleep. Is actually the time that I like to be in the kitchen. But yeah, so yep.
Good. And what's a particular happy food that you like to make? What would pep up
I
your
love
mood?
pasta.
Okay,
I love pasta.
right.
Like, I really love pasta. And if I don't get, like, I like pasta to be really simple and very spicy and buttery. Okay. If I don't get that, then my staple is like plain dal chawal, papad and pickle. I'm happy. You can just give me that and I'm happy. I'm very
Pasta, pickle.
simple that way. Yeah.
Yeah, pasta,
So
pickle,
from
and papad.
pasta,
Three things I've taken from. Yeah.
yeah.
Good. We are all trying to think about foods that will help boost our immunity, keep us strong,
Yeah.
keep our, obviously mood is one thing, but just keep us physically strong inside. A couple of suggestions what people should be eating, what we should
So,
be avoiding during this time.
so at the moment, if you can try and do like vegetable soup every day, it's a very good thing. So I try and put a vegetable soup on the table every day.
Right.
A palak soup is very, very good for health. So I do a palak one day. I do the orange pumpkin on one day. I do
Right.
the white pumpkin on one day. I do a carrot and a tomato on one day.
Ah,
So there's always a soup on my table.
yeah,
And the thing is, you basically just boil the vegetables,
yeah,
that you like. I also, what I do is I put a handful of pulses into each and every soup that I make.
yeah.
So it's not just the vegetable; it's vegetable with protein. So I do that, and it makes the texture a little thicker,
Hmm.
so it's nice and creamy.
Right.
But yes, so I try and do that
Yeah.
once. One meal always has a soup.
Yeah.
Always has a
Okay.
soup. Yeah.
This is a great question from Ahina Sharma. Which chefs do you follow? Who do you look for inspiration?
Oh my God. Okay. Right. Actually, during this lockdown, I have not um, I have not gone onto any chef's pages because I've been so busy cooking on my own.
Yeah.
That I have not had the time to get onto somebody's page and try and see what to do
No,
because
but
I
outside of
suddenly
that, like, we know that you're a Gordon Ramsay fan. That's something we share. But who else might you really like to cook with? Who would you like to spend an afternoon cooking with? And Minnie Mathur says hello there. Just shout out to
hi
Minnie.
hi okay let me think.
Tarika Singh asks Nigella.
Yeah, Nigella is beautiful. She was one of the first people that I actually started watching,
Okay.
and she really inspired me to cook. She made cooking so beautiful and so sexy. I was like, oh my God, I need to learn how to cook now. But she does that. She's gorgeous.
Right.
Mince, I'll make mango meringues as soon as I can. Let me think.
I'm so
Uh,
happy I had a big meal after all this food chatter that's going on. Yeah.
Minnie, didn't take off your
Take off your
glasses.
glasses. Why?
Why? It's okay. My glasses are my glasses. I think I like Heston Bloomington. I
Okay.
think he's quite an amazing, amazing chef.
Right.
Um, I like Thomas Zachary very, very much. I think he's a brilliant chef.
Hmm.
Okay, the Bombay Canteen.
Okay.
I somehow like all the ones closer to home.
That's
I am
amazing.
a huge fan of Manu Chandra, a
Right.
huge fan of his work.
Right.
I really like, uh, oh, oh God, I can't get his name right now. This is terrible. This is just terrible. Oh my God, I will get back to this.
So for
But
people
yeah, I
just joining in, we're just getting a really embarrassing moment here
okay.
with Miria Goretti because she's not able to find the name of
I'm not able to find the name.
yeah.
Oh God, Qualia. Who's the chef of Qualia? Come on.
Oh, don't ask me. I'm.
Oh, this is terrible. I love him.
Any
And I
of our
can't get his
audience, can
name.
you help us, please?
Yeah.
Minnie is having a moment, and we need to know who the chef of Qualia restaurant is.
I can't get his
Uh,
name.
Maria. Another question from Minnie: how are you getting all your fancy ingredients in the lockdown? Good.
So I have a stash of maida, which is in my house. I have a
Rahul
stash of
Akerkar.
Rahul Agankar. Yes, I
There we
love
are.
Rahul.
Thank
I
you,
think he's
Tarika. Thank you so
fantastic.
much.
His wife Malini is also fabulous. She's just
Yes.
fabulous.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
so yeah, I'm a
She's so full
fan
of
of.
energy. She's just like
She's
bursting full of
lovely.
energy. It's
She's
amazing.
lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So, so yeah, I actually love the chefs all closer to home. You know,
Fabulous.
they are people that I really look up to because, you know, I must tell you that all of us here in India, though we have a lot of organic food, the quality of our food is probably, um, you know, there is no quality control.
Right.
Okay. Whereas abroad, when you have, like for instance, simple things like abroad, when you're cooking in a kitchen, you have everything from a cake flour to a pasta flour to a T55. You have a T45. A T55 is strong flour when you're making breads. You get all the kinds of cheese that you want, which are fresh, which have not traveled, don't have like a huge carbon footprint. You know, so all these things make a big difference. And having said that, our chefs here,
Yeah.
okay, do some of the best work with whatever is available. And I think that is art.
Yeah.
To me, that is art. For what everyone does here is beautiful. What I think what Chef Thomas has done with Indian food is incredible. I love the Bombay Canteen. I just completely think that it's just outstanding. There's another place that I love in Oroville called Bread and Chocolate. I
Ah,
love that
I
cafe.
love that
Yeah,
place. Amazing.
yeah. I mean, beautiful,
Yeah.
just outstanding.
And
You
so
know, and
simple,
I
just sour
so
bread, chocolate,
simple.
and then cream
Yes,
cheese. Yeah, yeah,
yes. I'm like, you know, I somehow I like the simple things.
right,
I love the very luxurious things too. Don't get me wrong,
right.
but when it comes down to Rustax, I think I'm more rustic at heart,
Yeah,
and that's what I kind of get drawn to.
fantastic. As a parent, what's the one thing you can't do without each day? And you can't say your kids. I'm sure there's a element of saying kids
No,
in there
no,
somewhere.
no.
But
I can't do without screaming at least once a day.
yeah.
It may be more than 3 times,
Yeah.
but once a day I at least lose it.
Does the
Yeah.
amount of screaming go up as the kids get older? Am I going to be using my voice more and more?
You know, now they've reached a place where they behave like they can't hear me.
Okay.
So I have to change my tactics. But once in a day, I get really upset because I find them just watching TV incessantly or
Right.
something like that. And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, you know, what the hell? And they're like, so my son just doesn't have exams at the moment. Okay, he's in the 10th standard
Right.
and his exams got cancelled.
Hmm.
So he has gone to the 11th. So he's like, I'm in the 11th. My
Amazing.
exams are over. I don't
Amazing.
need to study.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the end of it. My daughter at the moment is doing online schooling.
Yeah.
Okay, so she gets up every morning and sits in front of the computer, and I find it bizarre because she's sitting in front of the computer. On the side, she has a laptop, she has a little iPad open, and all the friends are on a chat there.
Oh my.
And yeah, so I went today and I said, what kind of studies are these?
Huh.
You know, she said, oh, today there is no studies, today we're just chatting. I'm like, what?
Wow.
So, you know, I think even I'm trying to get used to this whole. Then I keep
Yeah.
telling her, I said, if you enjoy this too much, I'm just gonna homeschool you. You never go back to school.
Better than- Amazing.
So I kind of do all these
Yeah.
mean things.
And do you enjoy reading books?
I do enjoy reading books.
What are you reading right now?
In fact, I must show you this. I
Yeah.
have, how do I turn this around? Here. So I have all these at the moment, which I keep picking one, you know, just a little bit from. So I love Che. Okay, I love this one, which is the Flavor Thesaurus. I love this book. It's called A Lion Called Christian. I love Tuesdays with Maury.
Oh, that's a nice.
I'm also reading. I must show you this.
Have you read his previous book that he wrote, The Five People I Meet
I'm
in Heaven?
reading Everything is Fucked along with The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. So, yeah, I'm also reading this.
Yeah.
I also have my friend's book, Karma, which is a beautiful story, a fictional story written by my friend Jaya, who
Right.
wrote this. And I am also filling in something called my family cookbook at the moment. So,
Wow.
since I'm cooking so much,
Yeah.
I am now putting it all down, you know, the recipes that I really love. I've
Yeah.
started actually filling it into this book that has been lying empty for years.
Right.
I have also started going through my recipes that I wrote for another cookbook. So I've started looking at it, but not really.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I've been at the moment. I have been going through my the last edit of my poetry book. So that's what that's what I'm
When
also
when
doing.
is that going to be out?
As soon as I give in my last edit,
Okay.
so yeah, as soon as I do that, I think my poetry will kind of get out there.
Okay,
Let's
fantastic.
see.
Lots of
Yeah.
questions about your recipes, and I imagine, where can we direct people to get all your amazing recipes? What's the YouTube channel?
So
What's the
at the moment, so I used to do a YouTube channel. I've not put something up there for a very long time.
right,
My YouTube channel is called the Maria Goretti Corner.
right,
So I have a lot of recipes on the Maria Goretti Corner. I also have a lot of recipes on my blog that was called the Maria Goretti Corner Blogspot, but I've
right?
not put recipes there for quite some time.
Okay.
I have hi Adeeb. Hi, that's my. So he's a co-chef from Le Cordon Bleu, London.
Oh,
So
amazing!
he's
Hello,
just yeah,
fantastic.
he's just said hi here. Hi Adeeb. Yeah, so there's that.
Yeah,
And then there is, of course, now on my Insta because of the fact that I have actually time to explore what I love. I am putting all my recipes, whatever I want. I've been sharing it with
yeah,
everyone, and
yeah.
I'm a big believer in sharing. I really feel that the more you share, the more you get back.
Sure.
I believe that somehow,
Yeah,
and yeah, so I've been doing that now,
fantastic.
and
And my last
hoping,
question, which I love asking everyone, especially
yeah,
now, is when all this is over, where's the
yeah,
first place that you're going to go to?
I'll go somewhere very close to nature.
Okay,
I
within
don't know
Bombay.
where. No, I don't know,
Okay,
but somewhere really close in the heart of nature
right.
is where I will go to. Yeah,
Yeah, it's amazing. I think what this is, it's not me, but I have this chat with so many people, is that the two things we're missing most are the human to human connections and nature, and both
yeah,
things that we've taken for granted and almost
granted. Yeah,
exploited so much over the last few years.
yeah.
I hope we can all
So
take a lot from this and create a better world at the end.
yes, I think what this has also done, Marcus, it's given all of us a lot of time
Yeah,
to kind of start with sorting our insides. It's all very well that, firstly, I just want to say this to everyone out there that, nobody lives like their Instagram handle. And that is something that I want everyone to know. What goes on to Instagram is always happiness. What goes on to Instagram is always the beautiful things.
yeah,
And so don't ever look at someone's Instagram handle and say, oh, I want that person's life. You know, an Instagram handle is just what it is. It's an Instagram handle.
yeah. It's a
And
curated view of
it's a
yourself.
curated
Yeah,
view,
yeah,
skewed view of the
yeah,
person.
yeah,
I think this time has been great because I think all of us have had to sit with ourselves
yeah.
and try and sort our insides. And there's so much to sort. There is so much to sort. And I think this is a beautiful time for us to actually sit down and figure what, how, when, and what's the next step.
Yeah.
Like, I have always been somebody who has been thinking I mean, I got into food 9 years ago. So I've always been somebody who loved it, who had these things in my head about it. But I think when I get out of this lockdown, I actually want to search for a little place. And I want to open a small little place that I want to run, probably as a cafe,
Yeah.
probably as something where I can teach people out of. But I know that if I don't do this now, then I never will. and I am somebody who is a bit scared about a lot of things in life, but I feel I need to take a chance on myself because I don't know whether I don't know how does anyone know what tomorrow is going to bring us. So the thing is, I just feel that now is all we have, and if in the now you can be happy, you can keep yourselves fine, you can have a lot of love in your heart, I think it really takes you a long way, really does.
Thank you. That's such a beautiful note to end with. I really appreciate you being with us. I want to say thank you to everyone who's joined us, who's
Yeah,
asked questions.
thank you. They've been so sweet and they've been sending all these questions, but we've been talking so much,
Yeah.
Marcus.
No. I've been looking. I've been asking as we've gone along
All
as
these
well.
hearts, thank you for
Yeah,
all
it's
these
amazing.
hearts. It's so sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, fantastic. It's been so lovely having you with us. I hope we get a chance to do another one, and I hope we get a
I
chance to
hope
meet
so,
soon. I
Marcus.
can't wait to get outside again.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You stay safe. To everyone
You
joining,
stay
stay safe,
safe
stay
too.
healthy.
Yes, everyone, look after yourself. Have haldi pani with pepper in the night. Drink hot water. I don't know. Just stay safe, stay healthy. You take care of yourself, Marcus.
All right. Good night.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
Good night. Bye bye. See ya.